set my feet on solid ground. We're just playing some prelude songs before things get started. Good morning for those of you that are with us already. We're going to sing a song called I Feel the Spirit Moving Through Me. I feel the Spirit moving through me. I feel the Spirit moving through me, yeah. I feel the Spirit moving through me. I feel the Spirit moving in me, yeah. I feel the love moving in me. I feel the love moving in me, yeah. I feel the love moving through me, yeah. I feel the love moving in me. Oh, I feel the joy moving in me. I feel the joy moving in me, yeah. I feel the joy moving in me. I feel the joy moving in me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Want to welcome everybody to Unity of Bon Air on a beautiful Sunday morning. We're so glad you're with us today here and also online. We welcome you. And without further ado, let's stand and affirm together in song what we know to be true. God is good, and all is well. What a wonderful morning, beyond compare. I feel God's loving presence everywhere. I am filled with joy profound in a world where many miracles abound. In the garden of my soul, I am happy, healed, and whole. I know that God is good and all is well. In the garden of my soul, I am happy, healed, and whole. I know that God is good and all is well.
Good morning. I am filled with joy. The people that have come in this morning have been so happy and joy-filled, and we'll get to the daily word, but that is the daily word today, is joy. And the music team brings us joy. Welcome to Unity of Bon Air, where we live and express unconditional love and grow together in peace and prosperity. My name is Amy Fulcher Davis, and I'm very happy to be your service leader this morning. Love you too. And I'm very happy that I serve on your board here at Unity of Bon Air. Whether this is your first time or your 100th time joining us, we're grateful for your presence and your participation and your love as we share this special time together. And we have come together as a part of love's divine purpose that calls forth in each one of us to celebrate the connection that we all share through the holy presence within us and among us that we call God. So in that spirit of love and light, we enfold every spiritual gathering, every religious gathering, and all people everywhere. And we begin with a very special message from our daily word. Like I said, it's joy. Joy, joy, joy. Just saying it raises your vibration. A growing awareness of God's presence is my greatest joy. Awakening from a restful sleep, I give thanks for the new day and all the people who will be a part of it. And that includes everyone that is at home, on vacation, in a camper that's tuned in with us here at Unity of Bonaire. Although I cannot know what will happen as the day unfolds, I remind myself that everything and everyone might lead me to a deeper awareness of God. This growing awareness is my greatest joy. Even if the day includes less than happy experiences, I know that with quiet joy and comforting strength of the peaceful presence of God, that it is always with me. I will rejoice today in being alive, able to think, to feel, and to appreciate the sights, the sounds, the aromas that fill my environment. I will discover joy anew as I recognize each person I meet today as a unique expression of the wonders of God. Our scripture to support this today is from Psalm 118, verse 24. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Now, I'm going to say our affirmation once, and then we're going to say it together twice, and I want us to say it so the entire world can feel our vibration of joy. You ready? All right. A growing awareness of God's presence is my greatest joy. A growing awareness of God's presence is my greatest joy. A growing awareness of God's presence is my greatest joy. Okay, and now at home here, I invite you to kind of look at each other with openness and love and joy as we affirm all of this with surely the presence.
Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can hear the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place. Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place.
morning. I'm Reverend Patty Bittner, and I'm so happy to be able to be here and sharing with you today. So let us take ourselves into the wonderful stillness and begin with a prayer. And I invite us to take a couple deep breaths and let your exhale be a little bit longer than your inhale. That signals to your body to relax. So we tune our awareness to this amazing presence of God's love, to the source from which our identity comes. We just allow ourselves to relax a little bit deeper into this love. And we think of the gift of this day, that we're 6 feet above and not 6 feet under, and that it's so beautiful outside. The fall is coming, the temperatures are cooler, the sun is shining, and the light of God's love is shining in, through, and as us. So in this sanctuary is this complete brightness from all of us beings of light here. We just let that light wash over us. And in this light, we release anything that takes us from the presence of this love. We just tap it on the head and say, thank you. Don't need you anymore right now. And we think of all the people that have been working all week to make this gathering possible. We think of the people that are here this morning. We think of those that are joining us on Facebook. We just sit in gratitude for a moment for all these expressions of love. And then we move to those who are closest to us, our family and relatives. We just smile at the love we know from them. And if there are some characters that have challenged us this week, gotten us going in our ego, we take this chance to smile at them. Say, thank you for inviting me to grow into consciousness. We just envision our whole planet, all the children, families, older generation. We just send a mighty blast of love out and enfold all people. We enfold our sky, our air, our waters, just with gratitude. And I invite you to close with me by saying, I am grateful, and let it come from the depths of your being. We're going to do this 3 times. I am grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. And so it is. So welcome to those, if anyone is new here in the sanctuary, we have packets by the door in that basket that will give you some information. If you are new and online, you can go to the website and check out who we are and what events are happening, and we invite you to come and partake of the joy and the love here. And I have an announcement. I don't know if some of you most likely know Lisa Lambeth, and some of you may not. She was a beloved piece of Unity of Bon Air for many years, and key to establishing this beautiful gardens outside our window. And there's going to be a memorial service held Saturday, October 16th at 1 p.m. And all are welcome to honor and celebrate her loving spirit. And if you would like to give a donation in her honor, it can be made to the Unity of Bon Air Meditation Garden Fund. So it's always a moving experience to come and honor a life that was centered in love, and to hear stories of who this person was and how that person touched lives. So we have this great opportunity before us. And now I'm turn it over to Sherry. And let's all give her a hand and thank you for the work she is doing, making our groups possible.
On back there? There we go. Now you can hear me. Hello, Unity. How are you today? Okay. Well, geez, I am just so excited about our Truth and Experience Spirit groups and what we've been doing in them and all the feedback that I've been getting. So last week we heard from Suzanne Giesman, and I hope you're still, those of you in the groups are still doing that meditation that we did at the end of that. So you know that you create your own life. You've been told that over and over. And do you know how you do it? So do you know that what you're thinking and what you're saying, your thoughts and your words, is what brings to you the next moment in your life? So can you say to yourself, I would like to experience what that last thought would bring to me? Or do you even know what you're thinking? I know when I very first, years and years ago, 40 years ago, when I very first thought, well, what am I thinking? And then I started looking at my thoughts, I thought, oh my gosh, no wonder this isn't working. So can you train yourself to be aware of what you're thinking? So we're going to listen to Louise Hay this next week, and we're going to look at her procedures on how she created her life. And if you want to look her up and find out what she came from and what she accomplished in her life, it'll give you a lot of inspiration to follow her. So we'll look at what we're thinking, we'll look at what we're speaking, we'll look at our self-talk, we'll look at affirmations, and ladies and gentlemen, you have to believe the affirmation in order to make it work. So start out with something that you can believe, that you can feel. What's that feeling? And can you change your thoughts if you don't know what your thoughts are? So we'll explore that and how to change them and how to understand them. And can you love yourself? That's the big one. Can you actually love yourself? Are you worthy of your own self-love? What's your spiritual journey like? And maybe you can't handle the boulders, but you can handle the gravel, okay? So I just want you to really have fun this week, and we'll end up with being on the love train. So you will love yourself, you'll know how to look at your thoughts, you'll know what your self-talk is to you, and you will become the creator of your own destiny. Have fun.
All right, it's time for our congregation sing-along, and we're going to sing Something Wonderful by Mr. Harold Payne. Please stand up. This song is full of positive vibration, so try and memorize it and sing it every morning. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Something wonderful,
wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Oh, something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Oh, I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Oh, something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. All this love inside, we can let it shine. Woo! Yeah, yeah, something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Ooh, something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now.
So remain standing, and we're going to share our statement of truth, which is up there. Oh, me. Okay. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God, the omnipotent good.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Please be seated. Everything must change nothing stays the same. Everyone must change. Nothing and no one stays the same. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold. Yes, that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure of. But rain comes from the clouds, and sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Winter turns to spring. A wounded heart will heal. Yes, it will, but never much too soon. Everything must change. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold. 'Cause that's the way of life. Yes, it is. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. But there are many things in life we can be sure of. Rain comes from the clouds, and sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Oh, yes. Sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds and butterflies do fly. Oh, there's music from above, and the magic of this thing called love. Magic of God's love. Flowers in the field, yeah, and beautiful things abound, yeah, and music everywhere. Rain comes from the clouds, and the sun lights up the sky, and butterflies do fly.
Thank you all. We got a lot of magic up here over to my right. Let's see, it's easy to take for granted just the wonderful music we have every week, but you will go to some Unity churches where you don't just have music that lays you wide open every week, so we are certainly blessed. I was looking to see if my slide was up there. Okay, so we're talking today about the gift of change. So I've set a little table up here to talk about this. So, Claudia just introduced it wonderfully to us, talking about the season. So I've got the pumpkin to represent the seasons. And these represent the biggest change in my life. It was 2 years ago that Krista's spirit laid down her body and went on to be one with all that is. And so I'm not feeling sad today. I'm really celebrating. You can't, when somebody is in the shape she was in, you can't wish them to, I couldn't wish her to stay. So I miss having a partner, and your partner always creates opportunities for you to grow in consciousness, right? So I thought, wow, well, that's not going to be around every day, but everybody else stepped in. The women behind the counter at the pharmacy at Costco, she'll step in one day, and then the doctor that I'm talking to, they'll step in. So I haven't lacked for opportunities to grow in consciousness. And then the Be Amazing, that stands for the one thing in life that doesn't change. But I could have put the love up here, but the center of who we are, our true identity, that never changes. Our awareness of it, now that goes up and down all day long. But that's the one thing that doesn't change, this truth of love at the core of our being. So change is inevitable and growth is optional. Boy, is that true, right? The one certainty in life is change. Because our desire for stability and security, now I know you're not like this, but sometimes I resist and become anxious during changing conditions. But then we have the opportunity to remember who we are, that we are divine, that we are love, that we are Christ expressing. It's the most important thing to remember. It's the most important thing we can do in any moment, because darkness cannot stand when we embrace the light in the thing that is happening right before us. It's the story of the Annunciation of the angel Gabriel saying to Mary, she is to conceive a child. Now there's a change for you, right? Your whole body changes. You can't see your feet. You got to go to the bathroom because this kid's sitting on your bladder. And it's true for us as it was for her. The divine wants to impregnate us spiritually, miraculously, turn us into new people, and extend divine love through us. One day when we're feeling kind of bold and sassy, we'll say, yes, you can extend your love through me. And another day we'll say, nope, not going for that program, no, not now. Another time, I'm too busy, right? And, do we realize? I don't realize when I'm doing that crap what I'm doing. I'm saying no to Christ consciousness. It's right there in front of me. Come on, here's an opportunity to grow in love. And I'm going, no, just so sweetly, no. But Gabriel persists and says, I'll wait. I'm bringing this situation around again to give you another chance. Life truly begins to change, not when we have new things, but when we have a new spirit within us, a spirit of love and forgiveness. We become miracle workers as we say yes to being love, to living love, to allowing ourselves to be transformed. Okay, our next slide. this is just so few words, but it's so profound. One new perception, one fresh thought. Sherry was talking about our thoughts. One act of surrender, one change of heart, one leap of faith can change your life forever. Just stop and think about a time when you allowed yourself that gift. Wasn't it a miraculous thing? So I'm going to invite you to think of what changes are you facing? And now you can yell it out and show me you're still awake. Okay, taking care of 6 dogs, arthritis. Teenagers, oh yeah. That'll be an opportunity to grow in consciousness. Okay, you can have financial, relationship, health, mobility, job hunting, moving, cleaning out and releasing. One of my favorite things on Facebook when COVID started initially was somebody put, I don't care how long this pandemic lasts, I am not cleaning out my drawers. You know, it's the opportunity to release and let go came to us. Starting a new school year, starting to exercise, eating in a healthy way, taking a new medication, bringing a dream into being, starting a business. All these changes just happen and happen and happen. Okay, the next one. Our first response, no, it's like being a 2-year-old and stomping our foot. No, 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 I like the rut I'm in. I'm quite comfortable in it. Not going there. It's particularly when it's a change we haven't chosen. And we say, I want to be in control. We can get very emotional, angry, disappointed, depressed, sad. But here's the secret. We can look at it as an opportunity and reframe it. We can become curious. I love that word. How is Spirit at work here? And then Joyce's favorite sentence, I can't wait to see what great good will come from this. So I'll tell you a very embarrassing story. So I went to the doctor Friday, the eye doctor. It's time for me to get my new lenses. Sick and not being able to see well. And my vision was so bad, they gave me 2 different exams, the aid and then the professional. And then she said, no, we're not going to give you new lenses. We're going to give you eye drops for 2 weeks and blah, blah, blah. Well, I had tears. I was disappointed. I came home, and I'm reporting to Joyce what happened, and Joyce goes, I don't think she said this, but it was almost as shocking, stop it. It's just like, stop it. You could say, I choose joy. Well, I go through this stuff all the time. It'll be 11 o'clock at night before I remember that darn sentence. I can't wait to see what great good will come from this. And we're like this. We know this stuff, and yet we get wound up. Okay, next slide. Every change is a challenge to become who we really are. Okay, just let that sink in. Every change is a challenge to become who we really are. So what does that mean to you? To me, one thing it means is all that stuff that is not love, it's coming out when I get squeezed. When I think or say mean or bitter things, when I harshly judge another, when I despair, I'm just going around that spiral one more time. It's like Angel Gabriel said, see, I told you, I'll be back. And I have a chance to release that pattern, those thoughts, and recognize again the truth of my being. So this opportunity and change that is presenting itself before us means we can die to who we used to be and become who we are capable of being. The gift of change is the chance to become our true selves with a capital S. So we as true students know that we have the power of the Creator of the universe within, and yet it's the first thing I forget when change or a circumstance shows up seemingly out of nowhere. I forget I am a powerful being creating my world. But every change is a challenge to remember what is true. Love is the only absolute reality which never changes and never dies. So if we dwell in that which does not change, while all around us stuff is changing, we will know inner peace. Okay, next one. So an invitation to go within and go deep. We will change and can understand at deeper levels of truth the law. Now, I dream about the day when nothing will be able to shake me from knowing I am one with love and all of life. That the panic and fear will not rule the day or the hour, but a knowing that here is a chance to lean into spirit for guidance and direction and fearlessly walk the path before me. Claudia sang fearlessly, one of my favorites last week. Fearlessly, that's the stuff we're made of, right? Okay, next slide. Transformation within and without. So we know with form, things are just always happening, changing in form outside of us. But what's really key is what's changing within us. Physical, emotional, psychological. The most important changes are these that happen to our mind and our heart. In her book, I didn't tell you. So the title for this talk came from a book written by Marianne Williamson called The Gift of Change. So she takes Course in Miracles truths and wraps them around all the stuff of our lives. And in this book, she tells a story. This is a wonderful short story that her and some other people knew this single father who adopted two boys, two brothers. They were 5 and 7. They were flunking out big time in the foster care system and in the adoption process at such a young age because they were acting out the trauma of having been through everything they'd been through. And so Marianne intimates that she and the friends were really worried, okay, how is this single dad going to handle these two out-of-control kids and work and parent and blah, blah, blah? But she said, you know what? The dad's love and care created the space for them to change and grow into well-adjusted, loved boys and eventually men. You know, we look at something and we say, that isn't going to change. We're so sure, but the change, because if love is present, anything can change. That's the truth. That's the truth we believe. So it helps to prayerfully build into our consciousness the realization, the eternal God is thy dwelling place, and underneath are the everlasting arms. Okay, so some of these Old Testament references, they're anthropomorphic, right? They give God human form. So I know that God is not a human. I know God is light and love and energy and all this wonderful stuff, but sometimes I want a God that has arms. Do you? You know, and I want these images to hold me. So it's okay. I know the truth, and I can have comfort too. So I affirm, I do not resist change, for I know that only God the good governs me, my circumstances, and my environment. So the question is, this is such a key question, are we willing to reach within ourselves for clarity, for strength, for forgiveness, serenity, love, patience, and faith, and allow Spirit to turn a situation around. That's the meaning of each situation, not the story or what happened to us, but what are we going to do with what happens to us? And who are we going to choose to become because of that experience? The only real failure is the failure to grow from what we go through. And even then, it circles back around. We got another chance. We have the strength to rise in love again and again. Resurrection occurs when we hold to love despite appearances and thus allow a miracle. Okay, next slide. So I'm going to be talking about Emmett Fox and what he calls the mental equivalent. So this is a spiritual practice for us to take up. So it's always good to have something practical to take away from a talk or a lesson, right? So this is yours. So I advise you to take a single problem, issue in your life, and you can choose it now or you can choose to do this later. Something you want to get rid of, something you want to obtain, and change your thought about this thing. And well, we can all do that, like it just takes a second. But the secret is to keep it changed. Okay, you don't have to be in a hurry to select your problem. You can take your time. And if you do this week, don't tell anyone you're doing this, because if you tell a friend about it, you're affirming the existence of the problem, which is the very thing we're trying to get rid of as we keep going back to our story, right? If you tell your friend that you're going to work on your rheumatism or your lack, you're making these things very real to your subconscious mind, and your spiritual energy is kind of leaking away like electricity does in a ground. So take that problem and change your mind about it and keep it changed for a month. And you will be astonished at the results you will get, because you're holding what we think about, what we give our energy to persists, right? So if we keep saying, I don't know where I'm going to get the money to make this house payment, well, more of that's coming. We say, I am supplied by the divine one of the universe, more of that comes. If you really do keep your thought changed, you will not have to wait a month. This is Emmett Fox's teaching. If you really change your thought and keep it changed, the demonstration may come in a few hours. But to keep tensely looking for that demonstration is really, again, affirming the existence of that problem. So the secret is to keep your thought changed into the new condition that you want to produce. Believe what you are thinking, and to prove you believe it, you just act the part. You don't go into the anxious ego stuff that will come up. You'll say, no, I'm not going down that hole. By changing your mind about your problem in this way and keeping it changed, you're building a new mental equivalent, one of harmony and success. And we know that when we hold that in mind, it's outpictured in our lives. For a while, you'll find that your thought will keep slipping back into the old rut. Such is the force of our habits. That's why we call these spiritual practices, right? But if you are quietly persistent, you will gain the victory. And it's always a little bit difficult to change a habit, but it can be done. And then the right new habit becomes easier than the old destructive habit. So change your mind and keep it changed. Don't talk about the negative thing or act as if it were there. Act your part as though the new condition were already in being in our outer world. If you will do this, the new condition will presently appear in the outer, because the outer is outpicturing what we're holding in our mind. Okay, next slide. So that's talking about all our individual lives and our individual challenges. But I want to think a moment, because this church community, this spiritual community, is in the midst of change. It's been in the midst of change. It's still in the midst of change. And we're going to say, I'm inviting us to reframe it as, what a great opportunity for growth to happen, for our hearts to be blown wide open, for the consciousness in this community to be blown so crazy that all we can do is love, right? So how should we touch our community? We touch it with our divine ideas. We touch it with our divine energy. And then the love flows more and more. So the temptation in a community that's gone through having less membership show up, and that's for lots of different reasons, is the leaders and the people in the congregation say, we just need more warm butts in our seat. No, I'm going to tell you, no. What we need is a consciousness that is so exciting, so filled with love. There's so much harmony. There's so many things happening, like spirit groups and chant nights and concerts that people can't resist coming in because there's this love flowing. That's the truth. So if somebody comes up to me and says, Patty, what are you doing to get more warm seats in the butt? I'm not sure what I'm going to say back to you, but be warned. So change, we're going to say change here means just more chances to be a center for abundant life. And let's put our heads together, let's put our energies together and be about creating that. So my last slide is some affirmations, and I'm going to invite us to affirm together these deep truths. So let's read them, and let me read it once, and then we'll say it together, because then that gets a chance to get it in your consciousness. I do not resist change, for I know that only God the good governs me, my circumstances, and my environment. Okay, together. I do not resist change, for I know that only God the good governs me, my circumstances, and my environment. And then I'm going to read the second one, and we'll do it together. God gives me the wisdom and strength to meet the inevitable changes that occur in my life. I meet them easily and lovingly. Together. God gives me the wisdom and strength to meet the inevitable changes that occur in my life. I meet them easily and lovingly. Beloveds, I behold the Christ in you. I know we can do this. We can allow this change to blow our hearts wide open, to blow this community wide open to where we're going to have to create more room for God, right, in some kind of way. All right. So now we're going to move into meditation. And I just so loved what Suzanne did last week in the spirit group, and I thought, well, it's probably going to be people in the service that have not attended a spirit group, and they're going to be those that have. So if you've already started this practice, here's a chance to do it again, and if you don't know about it, you'll get introduced to this wonderful thing. So she calls it a sip of the divine, sitting in peace. So we're going to sit in peace, in silence, for 3 minutes, but I'm going to invite you, first we want to set the intention that we just go to this wonderful stillness within and do more than listen. We're going to sense the presence of God, the word from God. We're going to sense this newness and whatever the answer to our question is. And there's only one question you ask, she invites us to ask as we sit in this stillness. And that is, what do I need to know right now? And if an answer comes and it's a little fuzzy, then you can continue the conversation and say, well, what do you mean? And what is my next step? Just allow the information, this knowing, to come to you. So I've asked Amy to be my timekeepers for this. So we're going to just lovingly go with this embracing openness to receive whatever it is we need to know. So the question is, what do I need to know right now? Okay, we come back together. Oh, and I brought something. I was going to do this before we started, but I forgot. This was one of Krista's instruments that I kept very few, but this is her rain stick. So I want to just let you close your eyes and listen to this sound. Just like the rain falling, we can tune our attention to the presence of love in our hearts, in our lives, in our external world, and just be in that incredible space. And so it is. Thank you. So I invite our ushers to come forward, and I invite, if you have an offering to bless and hold in your hands, to hold that. And if you're online and want to give through our website, we invite that. But even if you have nothing physically you're putting in, I invite you to bless yourself, because your energy, your gifts, your love is what's making this spiritual community. So let's say our blessing. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, for the joy of giving and receiving.
All right, this song has a sing-along. It's kind of like a call and response, so I'll teach it to you. Most of you will remember this song, but please sing along with us. It goes like this. 1, 2, here we go. Your part. Whoa, the Spirit of God is upon me. 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 And then, whoa, I used to think that I had to. I used to think that I should. The scripture told me that I had to be good. Now I love because I want to. I love because I'm free. I'm filled with the quiet joy, yeah. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa, the Spirit of God, yeah. Sound good. Whoa, the Spirit of God is upon me, yeah. Whoa, the Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa, I don't need any party, I don't need any law. I wanna sing with all my heart. God is my all in all. And let go of my burden. Loving God has set me free. I'm glad that I finally know it, yeah. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa, the Spirit of God is upon me, yeah. Whoa, come on. Sing it, ladies, yeah. I hear you out there singing. Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa, the Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa, show them what you got, Lucy. This is how the Spirit flows in a musician's fingers, right? I thought it was my job. Somehow I believed loving God would be hard. But loving God is wonderful. Loving God is ecstasy. I'm glad that I finally understand that part. Yeah. The Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, the Spirit of God, I'm embracing change. Yeah, yeah. The Spirit of God, all around me, yeah. The Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, I'm gonna share with all the world. Oh, gonna share with all my neighbors, yeah. Oh, I don't have to preach, I just need to love, yeah. Oh, the Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, the Spirit of God is upon me. Oh. Thank you.
So we bring our gifts forward and let's bless them. Oh, we just place a mighty blessing on these gifts, on all the love that is brought forward in this church, all the hours of service, all the devotion, all the tenderness. And we say, thank you, thank you, thank you. We see this going out into the world and creating an amazing world where people are honored and loved and celebrated and treasured, and so it is. Amen. Okay, time for Miss Amy again.
I want y'all to look up. Can you see where the roof is about 10,000 feet higher? With our joy. I do have a few transformational opportunities. I would like to invite up to the microphone our student ministerial candidate, Cheryl Fair. She has a couple announcements.
Thank you. I wasn't expecting to take the stage today, but Melody, our YFM director, asked me to make a couple of announcements on her behalf. So Melody has a couple of events coming up. One is a YFM training for anyone who is currently serving in the YFM, or if you're interested in serving in the YFM. And that'll be on Wednesday, October the 20th from 10 to 12. It's going to be held online using Google Meetup and in person. And her plan is to review policies and the living curriculum and safety measures. So she just asked if you're interested in participating. Let her know by the 15th, please. And you can reach her YFM at unitybonaire.org. And then also on the 22nd, that's a Friday at 6:30, she's going to be having a movie, pizza, and service project night. So anyone's welcome to attend. It's going to have a Halloween Town, I believe, is going to be the film of the evening. And the community service project is going to be stuffing socks for the homeless. So if you're able to attend, great. If you would like to support that by making some contributions, she'd love to have new socks, adult and kids, toiletries, gift cards, protein bars, small packs of nuts. And while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and talk about one other thing that is on your list, Amy, and that is that we are having a Halloween event here, and it's called Boo and Stew. Okay. So Halloween is a Sunday. That afternoon, 3 to 5:30, we're going to have treat tables for kids, and Barbara Spicer and her team is going to be putting together a Brunswick stew sale. So I know you're going to want to be here. All right? There will also be a vegan vegetarian version of stew, so we have something for everyone. And information and plans are kind of coming together for this, like 1 minute at a time. They're evolving. Every time I have a discussion with someone, more things fall into place. So if you are interested in helping out or participating, number one, if you would like to be the host of a treat table for kids, so, you know, in lieu of the trick or treat, set up a table, decorate it, have some treats for kids, you can do that. Melody is wanting to hold a cake walk, so we're gonna need some cakes. So all of you bakers out there who would like to do a fun project, bake a cake. We're looking for 6 to 8 cakes that people can win in a cake walk. And of course, we're open to volunteers and anyone who would like to be supportive by sponsoring some of these activities. Come and find me. All right, I think that's it for me, Amy. Thank you.
All right, this evening the topic for our spiritual practice gathering is positive interactions, led by Cheryl Fair. Experience an engaging meditation time for reflection and sharing focus on positive relationships. And the gathering meets in person and on Zoom at 5 p.m. You can go to our website, I guess, and find the link. On October 17th at 11 a.m., we will welcome guest speaker Dr. Yamaja Jubilee want to make sure I pronounce that correctly, who will encourage us to set yourself free. Let go. Dr. Jubilee is an inspirational speaker, poet, author, and songwriter. She will remind us to live our life free and wholeheartedly because we were uniquely created by the master artist. And on Wednesday night, this Wednesday night, the Women of Unity will meet in person at 6:30 for journaling and jambalaya. That sounds good. Reverend Alva Kershaw will lead the activity. Bring a journal, bring something to write with, and a willingness to be with women in community. And masks are required. It says here, you know the saying, it takes a village. One place we could use some extra hands is in our fellowship coffee. The folks that are currently working there and giving their heart, and a lot of people are bringing things in as they come. So if you're interested in actually being a part of that team, please let Susan Green or Janet Loving Pitts know. All right, you already talked about Halloween Day. Okay.
What date is the Halloween day?
October 31. October 31. A gentle reminder, we're still asking people when they're in community with each other to wear a mask and to refrain from hugging and holding hands unless it is agreed upon between the two of you. Several people have asked me this morning, are you open to hugs? And so long as it's a mutual thing, yes, spread the love. But try to be respectful if somebody offers an elbow or not yet. And for fellowship and coffee, please enjoy your food and conversation on the promenade. Let's keep each other safe and be able to continue to have our services in person. Our prayer chaplains are here today. Would they please stand to be recognized? They are here to create a sacred space to hold you in whatever your prayer request is in. So please, after the service, if you want to speak with one of them, they're available. Reverend Patty, back to you.
So it's time to do our YFM welcome, but I don't see anybody outside the door. No.
That's why I did the announcement.
Oh, okay. All right, so now acknowledgments. So all the wonderful people that helped us create this service. So our beautiful music team, we thank you. Our sound team, we have Dan and Deb doing audio visuals. Yay, thank you. We have our ushers, Mark and Bob and Howard stood in, and I don't know who all else was greeting, but yes, thank you. And Amy and Sherry and Cheryl were up here. We just appreciate the gentleness and the tenderness with people come to serve our group. So thank you, God, for the hearts that make our place wonderful. All right, so I'm going to remember our statement. The service is now ended, and our love continues. And we go to our prayer and our song. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.